We can say it may be going, like my friend said, to a destitute home or an old age, or it could be feeding some person who's in need of food. But it is much more. I think it is much more. It is more like a shift of our entire personality, the way we think, the way we behave. We can serve by how we speak, we can serve by how we talk, we can serve by how we behave. So I think that the dimensions of service are infinite. It can be for every second in our lives. It doesn't have to be that only one day in a week I'll go and serve. So here I am to explore what are the dimensions, what are the different views about what service could be. First, service as a means for self-development. It is said in our Bhagavad Gita, and also Swami Vivekananda said, one of the yogas, Karma Yoga. We may not understand how to meditate. We may not understand the complicated scriptures. But we can serve. It is very simple. It is very easy also. I'll quote an example. In RYC at Guntur, one Mataji said, when you do an action of sweeping a floor in an auditorium, let's say you're sweeping this room here, there are two effects that are produced. One which you can see, that the room is being cleaned, and the other which you can't see, the impression that it makes in your mind. It can be done in many ways. A person can do it grudgingly, a person can do it saying, oh, I wish I was doing something else which is better. Or a person could be doing it thinking, oh, this is my salvation. There are three different ways, and the third person may see God in that. So if we can actually work, serve with that sort of an idea, it is an excellent means to improve ourselves. It is said in that shloka, Tyagat Shantiranantaram in Bhagavad Gita, it will immediately result in peace. Tyagat Shantiranantaram, immediately, if you give up Tyaga, you do service, you sacrifice, it will immediately give you peace. And the second dimension, I'll give another example. Buddha said, it is difficult indeed to understand that when we give food to others, we fill our stomachs. When we clothe others, we become more beautiful. And if we die for others, we don't die at all, but we become immortal. It's difficult to understand, but that is true. And the second one, it is a worship of the Virat, like Swami Vivekananda says. Virat is what we see, everything around us. It could be the nature, it could be people around us. He said, Daridra Devo Bhava, Dina Devo Bhava, Murkha Devo Bhava. If we can't go to a temple and see the God in the image, I think we should actually go out and serve first, and then we can understand what it means to see Shiva in the image. He said it is only secondary. So I think that worship, if somebody is sincerely interested in worshipping, I would say that the first procedure would be to go and serve people. To serve not just people, everybody, worshipping, literally. We are coming up with new terminologies like, environment protection and all, but we had it long ago. We have to worship the Mother Earth, we have to worship the air, we have to worship animals and all the creatures and beings around us. Worshipping the Virat, so service as a form of worship. You don't have to worship only by just putting your palms together and standing before the idol. This is also means to worship God. And the third one, especially, I think it is relevant for the young people. Service is a form of getting out of ignorance or depression or whatever you call it. We are having a very bad scenario if we see in India. Many people, young people, committing suicides and thinking so many thoughts which were never thought by people of that age before. I think that if anybody says, I am having a problem, I'm depressed, my first solution would be, go please take a broom and clean the road. I think that's one of the, it's an excellent way to get self-balance and to get out of, dangerous ideas. So I think service is an excellent means to get out of negative thinking. And finally, it is, what can we do? That's the problem, you see. We can listen to many people speaking, we can read many books, but what exactly is it that we can do? I think we should learn from Holy Mother's life. There are very simple things, but It is something that we need to imbibe in every minute, every day. Like I began my speech with, every walk, every breath, every word that you speak must say, yes, it is not me, it is you. I'll say that the simple question that we should ask at every point in our lives, if we ask ourselves why are we doing this, and we have an answer which says, this is for somebody else, and then I think we are in a better place. I think we're in a better place. And to end with, I think, Manu Bhaiya once, told in the class, you can go feed ants sugar also. If you don't have any other idea, you can do even that. It doesn't matter how much of sugar you're giving, or the ant is very small. It is the question of how much effect it has on you. It can be very simple. Like my friend said, you can keep that small ticket in your bag. You don't have to throw it down. Or you can just get up when somebody else needs the seat. It doesn't have to be very big things. It is about how, it just makes the picture of your personality more beautiful by the end of the day. It's simple things that matter. I'm sure each one of you have 101 things like that. But all I'll say is, just go ahead, It's a matter of an expression of sacrifice. And I'll end by saying that you don't have to think that what you're doing is a drop in an ocean. Many people say, how does it matter? As if, I'll do this and, the great revolution will come. You may feel disheartened, but I will say, you may be a drop in the ocean, but without that drop, the ocean was one drop less. That ocean was one drop less. So next time I'll say, go ahead, fill that one drop in the ocean. Thank you so much.
Pranam Swami. Hello friends, my name is Manu Agarwal. Thank you Shruti for giving me a chance, because it was her plan and she gave me a chance to speak here. Well, slideshow, F5. Swamiji's message on service, as I was told by Shruti to do it. You see the background? There is something special about the background. Flag. It somehow is depicting our Indian flag. It somehow depicts our Indian flag. And what we learn in our country, I don't think is taught anywhere else. We cannot compare two countries, but we know what our country is important for, right? So the message of service, what we were taught in the old ages, has to be continued. And this is a very important way to continue that thing. Swamiji's message on service. Next. One famous movie song line says, "Dharti sunehri ambar neela har mausam rangila aisa desh hai mera." Yes, it is different. Our country is different because we believe in service. Arise, awake the great ones. The world is burning with misery. Can you sleep? Let us call and call till the sleeping gods awake. Till the God within answers to call. What more is life? What greater work? There are so many miseries in the world. There are so many people who don't get things. The basic necessities are not there. Now, I can't tell everybody to just go and start donating things. Probably everybody can't do it. It is not possible for everyone to do it. But there are small ways where you can serve. So, as Shruti told, giving sugar to ants, very beautiful way of serving. You're not serving another human, you're serving your fellow being on the Mother Earth, right? The ant also stays on the earth, right? Saying that it is very small, why don't you need to give a damn about it? I don't think, if everybody thinks like that, over. There's no motto of service left over. Next. Who will give the world the light? Sacrifice in the past has been the law. It will be alas for the ages to come. The earth's bravest and the best will have to sacrifice themselves for good of many, for the welfare of all. Buddhas by the hundreds are necessary with eternal love and pity. The service orientation message was not from this age or probably 100 years ago. It has been coming from ages, from centuries back, decades back. It has been there always. And our duty is not much big in it. Try to serve a little bit as you can. You know, few days back, I didn't tell it to anybody. Yuva Sangarsh was going on a particular Sunday, and for some reason I had to leave, and I was leaving. On the way back, I was walking way back home. On the way, I saw an auto wala pushing his auto. I asked him, "क्या यार auto है क्यों खींच के क्यों लेके जा रहे हैं?" He said, "साहब पेट्रोल खत्म हो गया, CNG गैस भरवाना है, वो भी नहीं है." Everybody understands Hindi, right? Yeah. So he said there is no CNG in the auto. So I said, "Where is the CNG station?" He said, "Lakdi ka pul." I said, "What? You'll push your auto till Lakdi ka pul?" Well, "Nahi sahab, I'll see what to do." So what we did was, me and that fellow, we together pushed the auto till this petrol pump. And I gave him advice that you take 1 liter petrol, go till that Lakdi ka pul station, fill in the CNG. Is that a little bit of service we can do? This is just an example. I don't want to, put forth me as an idol of service. I don't want to do that. I'm just giving an example of what service you can do. You're going on your two-wheeler. Okay, generally guys, you're going on your two-wheeler. Okay, and you find an old person or an old lady carrying some luggage and walking back home. Just give her a ride home. That is service. Right? The girls also can do it. If you drive two-wheelers, you can do it. People generally say service. You take a blind man, make him cross the road. That is also good service, but it is followed. People who do it is really good. Next. It is our privilege to serve the mankind. Okay, for this, because it is the worship of God. Manav seva hi Madhav seva hai. I hope everybody knows this. Manav seva hi Madhav seva hai. Everybody knows Narayan. Bhagwan Shri Narayan, Bhagwan Shri Vishnu. Nar mein Narayan hai or Narayan mein Nar. It is always also Nari also. So please don't take it in a wrong way. Okay. So Nar mein Narayan hai or Narayan mein Nar. God is there in the human and human is there in the God. I hope everybody is understanding this. That is what is more important. When you treat or serve your fellow human being, you are treating or serving God. Next. Do you love your fellow men? Okay, don't take it in a bad way, please. Do you love your fellow human beings? Yes? No? Yes. We do. Where should you go to seek for God? As I already told you, Nar mein Narayan hai, Narayan mein Nar. Why do you need to go somewhere to search God when God is there, right beside you, right in front of you, right behind you, to the left, to the right of you? Help Him. People might come up with this saying, "Arya, helping, na? I'll help my friend in exam. It is a service." Is that a service? That is not a service. That is cheating yourself. Why not worship them first? Why go to dig a well on the shores of Ganga? Simple, right? Why don't you serve the person who's right next to you? Serve your maid servant's son by giving him or her some knowledge, giving him some books. Is that a service? That is, you might think we are paying her, right? Why do we need to serve her? Why do we need to do service for her? Right? That is not the way. Because she is working. Do remember that she comes to your home, she washes your utensils, she cleans the bathroom. She is doing a service to you. You might think they're saying that we are paying her. That is not you're not just paying her for anything. She's serving you. Nobody else will do it. It is your duty to serve it in a right way. Educate her children. Or educate her if she doesn't know how to study. Or if you can't educate or help, at least help her in cleaning the house. You can do that. It might look very, simple things. The service is not like go there, stand with the board, start urinating. That is not the way. That is a way, that is a very good way. But a normal person like me can't do it. I can't hold a banner and start serving. It's not possible. Right? I can serve in this way. You can serve in this small ways. Help your maid servant. Service. Next. Look upon every man and woman and everyone as God. You cannot help anyone. You can only serve. You can only serve. Serve the children of the Lord. Serve the Lord Himself if you have the privilege. That is what, you shouldn't, wait, I will wait, I will get an opportunity to serve. I believe in this very much concept of an opportunity doesn't come to you. You go there and grab it. So is service. A service will not come to you. You have to go in search of service and do it. You will find many people who need your help, or you need to serve them. If you get a second thought in mind saying that, baad mein, later, there ends the matter. That later will never come. Next. Let me tell you again that you must be pure and help anyone who comes to you as much as lies in your power. And this is good karma. Anyone who comes to you, sometimes service might come to you. Instead of you going, it might come to you. And when you recognize that thing, it is your best karma. One Bhagavad Gita sloka, it is very common these days. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetuhu mate sangoch akarmani. Meaning of the sloka, your duty is to serve and not look into the fruits of the service. When you start serving, God will make sure that you are given the fruits of it. Don't think about the fruits. You will get the fruits in some indirect way. You will get it. Well, this background picture, if anyone, I don't know if Sai remember? We went to Bangalore, four of us went to Bangalore, and this is Swami Vivekananda's statue over there in the Bangalore Mutt, Alisur Mutt. And by the means of the constant effort to do good to others, we are trying to forget ourselves. This forgetfulness of the self is the one great lesson we have to learn in life. What is the biggest problem in this world today? Can anybody tell or guess?
Corruption.
Be loud, please.
Greed.
Sorry?
Greed.
Greed.
Lack of character.
Lack of character.
Corruption.
Corruption.
Control of ourselves.
Peace.
No goal, aimless, being aimless.
Control of ourselves.
Control of ourselves.
Population.
Population, Okay. Let's not contradict each other. Let's just lack of love. You know what is the biggest problem according to me? The word I, which we define in the terms of ego. And as my great friend Ramakrishna Janak, who is doing his M.Tech in Geetam University right now, he said me, ego stands for edging God out. And this one great thing when Ramakrishna, he was speaking to Shruti, and I was just standing there and listening to him. Edging God out is ego. When you have ego, so edging God out. Once you start edging God out, you stop serving. Next. It is a privilege to serve mankind, for this is the worship of God. When you start serving, as I already told you, Manav Seva, Hi Madhav Seva hai. When you start serving, service can be really small. It need not be very big. You find someone, you find a stone in middle of the road. What do? Drive past by it. Does anyone have the courage, or does anyone have the mind or the mentality to stop your vehicle, park it aside, pull the stone aside? Has anyone done that till now? 1, 2, 3. Others start doing it. Because that stone might become the stone of your life once. Swami Vivekananda is there in every one of you. He is there in every one of us. So it is our duty to make sure that we spread his message. And service was one of his message. Thank you.
As we discussed in the class, I would like to introduce myself as I'm soul or Atman seeking self-knowledge, coming to Ramakrishna Mutt with the name Sneha. Working in Cognizant in this life. I'm here to speak about the topic that it is only through service that youth can channelize their energy or power for the cause of the nation. There is a great man who worked as a librarian. In his 30 years of service, he donated his entire earnings to the needy. And he donated even his pension amount of 10 lakh rupees to the needy. Can you guess who he is? Yes, he is none other than Kalyan Sundaram. American government has recognized him as the first person to donate his entire earnings for the needy, and they honored him as Man of the Millennium. And he was rewarded 30 crores for that. You know what he did with that amount? He again donated even that for the needy. There's another great person, a chef. He got to see a shocking incident on one day. He saw a very old man. And what was he doing? He was having this human waste as his food. He was moved by that. Who is he? Narayan Krishnan. So he has decided that when his own countrymen are starving to death, how could he go back and work? So from that day, he started fixing meals to all those needy people who couldn't serve themselves. He started an NGO, Akshaya Trust. Can you imagine how many meals he served in a span of 1 year? 1.2 million meals. So, what are we supposed to do? What actually are we need to do to serve this country? As Swamiji always mentions, we just need 3 heads. Head to think, heart to feel, and hands to do. So, and there's one buzzword, corruption, which we hear every now and then these days. What is the common reaction of people to this word, corruption? They say that our country can never be changed. It will be the same always. Just imagine if the great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, if they would have thought that this country could never be changed, today we would have been slaves under British rule. So, my dear friends, I would like to conclude by saying, Swami Vivekananda says that we need evolution and not revolution. So let us join our hands together to make Swami Vivekananda's dream a reality. Thank you.
Sometimes that we are limiting ourselves to that word. I mean, I have been to, before 3 years I have been to Ramnagar Gundu. At the Chaurasta, every evening at 6 to 7 there will be traffic jam. There will be traffic police who will be having his cup of tea or samosa. His duty starts at 5 o'clock and ends at 7:30. Most of the time he will be at the tea stall. And what I did was, one day I started clearing the traffic because I was also in the auto. So if my auto had to move front, I had to go and clear the traffic because I was getting late to institute. So I just cleared the traffic. He was watching. Second day I did the same thing. He was watching. Third day I did the same thing. He was watching. Now what should, as a common man, I do? What is the biggest service I can do at that point of time? My job at that point would have been to go and ask him, gentlemen, aren't you being paid by the government to do the job? And why are you waiting here for someone to clear the traffic? That's the biggest service. And fourth day I did, and he had to clear it. And I'll just end with a small incident in Guntur. In Guntur there is a man called Gandhi. He used to dress like Gandhi and he used to walk like Gandhi. I mean, he's married also, apart from one more step ahead of Gandhi. And I just continue in Telugu because I recited the story in Telugu. So జనాలు ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఆయన ఇంటి ముందు ఆయన లేన్లో జనాలు రోజు అక్కడ గుంటూరు మున్సిపల్ కార్పొరేషన్ వాళ్ళు సరిగ్గా మేనేజ్మెంట్ సరిగ్గా ఉండదు. సో జనాలు ఏం చేసేవారంటే వాళ్ళ ఇంటికి చెత్త రాకపోవడం వల్ల చెత్త తీసుకెళ్లి ఇంటి బయట పడేసేవారు. సో ఈయన గలీలో ఏం చేశారంటే రోజు పొద్దున్నే లేచి స్నానం చేసి మంచిగా బట్టలు వేసుకొని తెల్ల బట్టలు గాంధీ గారు లెక్క గాంధీ గారు టోపీ పెట్టుకొని లేన్ క్లీన్ చేయడం స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. ఒక రోజు చేశాడు, 2 రోజు చేశాడు, 3వ రోజు చేశాడు, సంవత్సరం చేశాడు, అట్లా 12 సంవత్సరాలు చేశాడు. ఈనాడు న్యూస్ పేపర్ ఆయన గురించి ఆర్టికల్ వేశాడు, ఈయన మహాత్ముడు గాంధీ, మరో గాంధీ అని. కానీ ఏమైంది? గుంటూరు మున్సిపల్ కార్పొరేషన్ వాళ్ళు రియాక్ట్ అయ్యారా? కాలేదు. తర్వాత ఆర్టీఐ ఫైల్ చేసి తెలిసింది ఏంటంటే ఆ గల్లీ క్లీన్ చేయడానికి ఆల్రెడీ మోర్ దాన్ 10 lakhs ఖర్చు అయినాయి ప్రతి ఇయర్. ఎవరి మనీ అదంతా? అవర్ ఓన్ మనీ. అవర్ మనీ అంటే మీరు ట్యాక్స్ కడుతున్నారా? ఎస్, యూఆర్ పేయింగ్ ట్యాక్స్ ఫ్రమ్ కోల్గేట్ టు ఆల్ అవుట్, మార్నింగ్ టు నైట్. మీరు ఏది కొన్నా మీరు ట్యాక్స్ కడుతున్నారు. సో వాట్ వుడ్ బి అవర్ ఐడియల్ జాబ్? అక్కడ ఏం చేయాలి? మనం ఎన్ని రోజులు క్లీన్ చేసినా సరిపోదు. అక్కడ ఆఫ్టర్ సమ్ పాయింట్ యూ గివ్ ఇట్ ఎ గో. You have to go and question them. See, this is your job. He is not going to do your job. You are being paid for it. Either you quit the job or let him get into your job and be paid for that. So I request you to, after some point of time, I mean, you want to increase the service. Me service broad and wide and kavalante compulsory you have to go through that path. Thank you.
Because it's never crowded. Remember this thing, that it's good to be blessed, but it's all the more better to be a blessing. Being a man or a woman is a matter of birth, but being a man or a woman who makes a difference is definitely a matter of choice. So promise yourself today here that in every piece of bread that I get to eat, I will eat it only when everyone else has had their share in it and no one starves while I eat. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity. Live simply so that others can simply live. Thank you.